The Disneyfication of Warcraft. Oh, we gotta go to Warcraft now. I don't play Warcraft, so I wouldn't know better, like, well, how it was supposed to be, what it's like. I mean, I have an idea. I know that it's getting noobified, but I hope to see something interesting on this video. So yeah, let's start
World
it.
of Warcraft is one of the most tragic victims of the modern gaming industry that brutally mishandles
Oh, thank you,
legendary IPs
Moktu.
and turns them into shadows of their former selves. It's a textbook example of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. In its foundations, Warcraft established a certain look or aesthetic for itself that made it
Zella, sorry, I'm surprised you keep making WookTube videos. Yes, I keep doing, Zella, because was the WookTube videos that brought me up until here. I started streaming way after. You know, when I had already a channel with many subscribers, like thousands of subscribers already, and a lot of videos getting a lot of traction, views, you know, that's when I started to live stream. So yeah, like, even though Booktube is pretty much down now, I will not just give up because of that.
it really stand out in a sea of other titles in the fantasy genre. Most notably, despite their clear influences from other games, the races of Warcraft had their own flair about them that you could only find in Warcraft or WoW. However, over the years, we have seen a devastating shift in tone, writing, and art direction that have turned WoW from this vast, gritty fantasy that did have a bit of whimsy here and there to a full-on Disneyfied version of its former self. Today, I want to talk a bit about how WoW lost its uniquely Warcraft identity, focusing mainly on art and aesthetics, and just have a bit of an honest discussion on what exactly went wrong and why it matters in the context of a changing, out-of-touch industry that has plunged many legendary franchises into an identity and aesthetic crisis. Before we get started, hi, my name is Angelica, and this is a video that I have been building up to for a while. It isn't a new discussion, but it's really
Angelica
important to
from
me as
Angelica
somebody who
Toss
grew up with
channel,
Warcraft, and I am probably the way that I am because of it. Now, previously on this channel, we have had several in-depth discussion on the races of Warcraft and certain aesthetic and tone shifts that have fundamentally changed how they were even from Warcraft 3 to Vanilla WoW, or even some things that have straight up ruined everything that was unique about
I
a particular
understood,
race.
Blaze.
It hits hardest with the
Don't
Night
worry,
Elves,
I
as we've
saw
seen,
your
where they
message.
went from these savage men and women who fought with a brutality that even the orcs couldn't believe to please don't hurt my twee. You can check this video out if you want to hear about it in more detail, but for me this has sparked a wider discussion on where exactly WoW lost this brutal Warcraft essence and how did we get to these Disney vibes. Honestly, you don't really have to do
Disney
any
vibes.
in-depth analysis to see that there is a massive difference between even these images here.
So this is getting like Disneyfied? I don't think it looks like Disney, and I'm wrong?
As if they come from totally different universes. Everyone looks so bubbly, kind, even the rougher.
Yeah, but the one thing I can tell pretty much already, yeah, you really... the guy said something like, after you see the purple, you notice the purple, you never like forget it, you never notice again. And I can already notice how much purple there is.
Options for faces look so soft and clean. It's missing that bit of spice that we saw with older models. And this bubbly, well-rounded and smooth kind of look really goes for how the rest of the world looks as well. Some people suggest that this is just the natural way that it progressed with these newer models, but I would argue that it definitely could have taken a different way if they wanted it to. Just look at these unused human models and how much they resemble their Warcraft 3 selves. There was already a shift in tone from the start of vanilla World of Warcraft, but at that point it wasn't anything too egregious, even though it would have been nice to see them explore this particular look for humans. A more intimidating, sharper look, and something that made them stand out from humans in other fantasy games. Warcraft 3 was a defining game for the overall look that made WoW so great. They established a very interesting balance between the masculine and the feminine that worked in harmony to amplify one another. By this, I mean it tapped into the side of fantasy that is effortlessly, universally appealing. Strong, believable.
Let me guess, that ended and now all characters seems like very androgynous.
Believable characters, flawed, but each with their own personalities and their own motivations when it comes to the greater fight for the good of their own race or whatever cause they support. A very mature approach that gave a lot of room for growth and a future for Warcraft. It reminds me of how The Lord of the Rings, particularly the movies, are so appealing to literally everyone. They never needed to overcompensate in a way that a lot of modern games and fantasy in general tends to do nowadays. For example, did you know that in total, if you take all of the main female characters and put their screen time together, you don't even get a full hour. And despite this, The Lord of the Rings has a massive female fanbase. Then we can look at the Rings of Power and how they massacred Galadriel's character.
We all know pretty much already that it doesn't mean anything. It's not. It's not like giving more female minutes or hours inside screen. It doesn't make like reach more women. It doesn't make it get better. It doesn't make anything. It just make the ancientification happens. That's all.
To where she's no longer a strong, wise elf, but an insufferable girl boss who behaves like those main characters from the Disney shows. Everything
Yes,
feels
go boss.
over-exaggerated,
You go, girl.
overplayed, and unnatural. Warcraft had a place for everybody, not because they had to fit someone in to meet a quota, but because the world naturally formed in this way. In the RTS, for example, the Night Elves, despite being such a wild and brutal race, are actually a matriarchal society, and little things like even the in-game callouts are done.
They know that, Blaze. Blaze said, make an actual good female character. A girl boss does not make a good character. We know that. They know that. That's the thing that hurts the most. They are aware of that. They keep screaming that bullshit. And I really believe that they know all of this. They know what they should be doing. But again, it's never about the reality of things. It's always about feelings. It's always about like push away their thoughts, their needs, their desires, their what they actually want for us, for us as a society, whatever, over us. It's not about what will make a game good. It never was. It's always about their political bullshit and their freaking terrible, evil goals.
With a female voice, as opposed to the other races that have male voice callouts. Modern WoW has a lot of flaws when it comes to writing, but particularly female characters feel so forced, unnatural, and like their motivation doesn't come from a genuine place, but instead it's all just sort of performative. Sylvanas went from the tragic survivor of the Lich King, the powerful Banshee Queen that unified the Forsaken, to a cartoony villain. The rest of the writing across the world, coupled with the cadence with which female characters speak, is just, it's Disney.
Is that?
Thoradin's Wall? Yes.
Then the stories and legends I read as a child were true.
This is an infamous example.
Yeah, now I got her point. Yeah, I really got her point now. I don't know why it's decreasing the quality all the time. What the fuck is going on with my internet connection?
The way that it looks like a poorly made machinima from the
Wait, I think 1080p is enough. Yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? What the hell is going on with my connection? Damn, I'll have to cut all of this. What the fuck? Well, I'm
early days, and
connected
to
with
be
all
fair,
you guys.
even those looked better.
What the fuck is going on with Woke 2? What the hell? It's only Woke 2. You see, otherwise my connection would be with stream would be cut or ended or whatever. It's not. What the fuck? I'll try to reload the page. I don't know. Fucking Woke 2.
World of
It's so
Warcraft is
terrible,
one of the
man.
most tragic victims
So
of
terrible.
the modern gaming industry that
I don't remember
instead
more or
it's all
less
just
where
sort
we
of
were.
performative. Sylvanas went from the tragic survivor of the
No,
Lich King,
it's
the
1080p.
powerful
Fuck
banshee
yeah.
queen that unified the Forsaken, to a cartoony villain. The rest of the writing across the world, coupled with the cadence with which female characters speak, is just, it's Disney.
Is that?
Thoradin's Wall? Yes.
Then the stories and legends I read as a child were true.
This is an infamous
Ooh.
example. The way that it looks like a poorly made machinima from the early days, and to be fair, even those looked better.
Dinath fought to save all of Azeroth.
He sold us out so the Alliance and Horde could wage war in Khazal.
Who is this Vayne?
You'll never understand. For Erisor!
But it's that overplayed style of narration that is used to tell you about history that is somehow relevant to the plot. The shades that she's wearing are also kind of throwing me
This
off. We
shit
get two
faking
supposedly
game.
strong female characters here, but their dialogue is so poorly written and it's delivered in such a strange way that I can't help but just cringe at it. There was talk about this sort of thing happening a lot, not just in WoW, but in other games in general, in an attempt to make games more appealing to women. This is the industry's idea of what is supposed to be appealing to women. A corporate-brained group.
They will always feminize the man and masculinize the woman. They want to women more masculine, more and more girl bossy and everything. And man, all more and more, and man like more and more passive, more and more feminine, more and more like masculinized, you know.
Group of people that never really had
It's
interest in
simple
video
like
games to
that.
begin with came up with this. An out-of-touch entity that has all of the power, but none of the creativity to bring Warcraft back to its former glory. Why is it that in order to appeal to female gamers, we need to infantilize the dialogue and the writing to Disney levels? Things like this are straight up insulting to everybody's intelligence. I wonder how it passed quality checks. Is there nobody there that listens back to this and says, hey, maybe this is a little bit silly? This is a little side note that goes beyond World of Warcraft and shows you just how much the industry does not take female characters or female gamers seriously, and how much they misunderstand us. A recent example is God of War Laufey, which is such an unfortunate thing for me because a game along the lines of Heavenly Sword or a God of War game with a female protagonist does sound like it's something that would appeal to me, like I would be the target audience for that kind of game. But when I watched the showcase and heard little bits of her dialogue and what she was saying, I felt confused.
There is no God of War without Kratos, and I don't even play the fucking game. The game is literally what he is, God of War. What the fuck?
Okay. I think they're gone.
Just be careful. Where are we anyway?
Afterlife of the gods? I call it the everyone. So, what's the plan, boss?
Yes, Blaze, God of War, not God of coquetry. Yeah.
Not your boss, Frank.
Why does she have to be so quirky?
Not your
and
boss,
why are we so
Frank.
afraid of or embarrassed by a true fantasy setting where people speak and act like they would in a serious, mature fantasy?
And it's terrible because they make all this quality, you know, everything like looks always pretty, but they give me shit because they shit-fired it with progressive woke agenda. That's the problem. That's so annoying, man. And you see, like, for example, like it's like the new anime is garble compared to the old anime. And it's like the new movies are garble compared with the old movies. And it's not nostalgia. They're shit-fine everything. Everything looks prettier, but everything is worse. Everything looks prettier in you know, better graphics, better quality, but it fucking ends there. All the other stuff is just, you know, what you know very well, progressive bullshit. And it's reaching anime now, by the way, too.
Setting. Why is there a gelatinous cube named Frank? Where in Greek mythology did we have something like this? The creation of these cartoony girl bosses or quirk chunguses show that
Look at Look at them. Oh my god, Disneyfication of the woman
They
herself.
don't really understand what made other fantasy titles so popular with female gamers. Look at things like Skyrim or even Elden Ring as like
Again, they understand. They know that, but they doesn't give a shit what we actually want. They want to enforce what they want over us. It's not like, come on, we don't live in a nation. I think you guys realize that already. In what corpus doesn't give a shit to what consumers want. They want to dictate what the consumers will buy. It's literally that. You know, it's for everything. It's not just games. It's to everything. You don't buy like they want, instead of like making a good product. Take this to everything. Okay, guys. Instead of making a good product, they want to brainwash us into buy that product, that terrible product, instead of making a better product. It's literally that. Because yes. Because now we have this infinite backup of money that our shareholders or whatever the fuck it is, you know, that will throw at us like infinite money so we keep going on doing our bullshit, you know? Fuck.
like a really small example. They are games that are just completely themselves. Every character fits naturally into their setting. There is no unnecessary comic relief to make female characters more relatable
Exactly,
or
Blaze,
less
exactly.
awkward, and there's no
Electric Car
Disney-style
sucks.
over-narration of events to make sure that girls will understand what's going on. Those games are just good, and that is why everybody likes them. You don't have to overcompensate at every turn with cute and whimsical characters to get girls to play your game. I'm gonna say something, and it's that performative male feminism has majorly contributed to the industry's skewed and out-of-touch view of female gamers.
Oh,
When this sort of thing
really?
receives
I
any
didn't
bit of
notice
criticism,
that.
you'll have the white knights come out and say, oh, weak men, fragile masculinity, you hate women if you don't like this sort of thing. Okay, if you take actual incels out of the equation, which nobody really takes them seriously, the truth is that a female protagonist isn't the problem. If that were the case, so many massive franchises wouldn't have even been half as successful as they are. The problem is with modern developers that will take a legendary, well-established IP and use it as leverage to sell their own games with mediocre writing. Let's be honest, nobody would buy this if it didn't have the World of Warcraft label on it. We should not be focusing on the
That's
extremes
true.
that deflect from valid criticisms and
I
concerns
stood
when
in
it
boats
comes to
after
things like
today.
this. Nobody who's normal has any real problem with a female game protagonist, but we also shouldn't reward mediocrity just because the protagonist is a woman. Performative male feminism has been incredibly damaging to so many studios, including Blizzard, who did have a lot of skeletons in the closet of their own in real life, but they
Oh, a
thought that it
lot.
would be reasonable to turn women into fruit as compensation. I've asked this before, and I'll ask this again. What message does this send about women's bodies, especially in a mature fantasy setting? It's hardly a children's game, if we're honest. I mean, most of the people that are playing World of Warcraft, at the least, would be in their mid-20s, but I'd say the average is like 30s, 40s, and above. And this is just part of the overall problem, but going back to modern or retail WoW, when the harmonious masculine and feminine elements of the game were neglected, toned down, and stripped back for a more family-friendly version of the game or something that would appeal
Oh, that's so fucking ugly.
to more people, it resulted in a kind of a theme park look or feel for the game. You tried to make something that appeals to everybody, it then appeals to nobody. There is the added issue of too many things going on at once. There are too many races, there are too many flashy mounts and toys, too many shop items, and it all creates.
What the fuck? That costs $50?
There are too many flashy mounts.
What the? What? You're telling me this costs 50? What? What the fuck?
Mounts and toys, too many shop items, and it all creates visual noise. This is the backdrop, but in the foreground, the way that the characters are animated, how they move, how they run, cast spells, etc., is so overdone, and for me it plays like some cartoon or something that isn't really that serious. I think it's important to note just how impactful this change is. We went from these more grounded and down-to-earth animations to the more over-the-top variety that, perhaps because of what I'm used to, feels very unnatural and frantic. Recently, Warcraft did a video about why WoW isn't immersive anymore. Just on that conversation, a lot of these new locations with the latest expansions, for me,
Of course, because you cannot immerse yourselves there because there's always something ugly, always some silly like progressive stuff that you find around the game, you know, something that you look at. Even more when you played like so freaking long, like this girl and many others, for so many years, you notice every slight change and you notice that it keeps getting to the worst always. Of course you will not get immersion at all. We will not. We play games to escape reality. The fucking progresses to realities inside the freaking game entirely. How do you forget about that and immerse yourself in the game?
me are a little hard to appreciate with just how much is going on. It's not that these places aren't beautiful. There is a certain charm there, but I think that World of Warcraft is a game that greatly benefits from minimalism where possible in terms of world design. It is so much easier to get immersed in a simple, dark forest where the environment is made up of limited but effective components that get across how you're supposed to feel about this place and what it represents, as opposed to these massive, overblown, overly detailed locations where your eyes kind of don't know what to focus on in order to properly appreciate the setting. It's kind of a shame for the better designed parts of the game also, because this just completely clashes with it and takes away from any good art that's created in modern World of Warcraft. Just completely overshadowed by silliness and a general lack of direction. I think that the true Disneyfication started with Draenor when they had the catastrophic change in character models that all but wiped the core identities of many of the races of Azeroth.
Look at all that!
Change in character models that all but wiped the core identities of.
Look at all this purple! Oh my god! Once you see, you really can't unsee. I notice immediately now.
Many of the races of Azeroth, but as time went on, I think that the Disney element was melded together with a Fortnite element. Fortnite was a massive and game-changing influence all across the industry, especially with their specific approach to monetization. What started out with a simple skin shop and then turned into the Battle Pass where you could additionally earn currency, later grew into something that featured all kinds of things, including celebrity cameos, TV show cameos, cameos from other games. So when you go into a Fortnite lobby, everyone is just
The game lost identity. This is pretty much easy to tell. Because there's a lot of characters from a lot of different games, mix it all together. And here we can split this opinion in two. And I agree with both in this case. But I mean, in my opinion, I still think like the game has to be their own like identity. But I can see some value in this mass of things like have a lot of mixed characters, mixed skins inside the game like this, you know? I can see how fun it could be like to be playing like with Iron Man, I guess, I don't know, Hatsune Miku or some shit like that, you know? I can see how interested it can be, but it's true that it takes away all the identity of the game. It's not what it is anymore, it's an amalgamation of things.
Some different looking thing. There's no rhyme or reason, no harmony, but for a game like Fortnite, this is fine. It's a battle royale. You're in, you're out. It's not that deep. I don't think anybody really cares about Fortnite lore or keeps up with it unless they're like 6 or 7 years old. And to me, that's what a lot of World of Warcraft looks like.
Well, we cannot say that because, I mean, it's the same for League of Legends, right? You go there, you start a match, you finish your match, and you're done, unless you want to play again. But even so, people care a lot there to the lore, to the story. So I cannot say that about. I mean, I don't know. I don't play Fortnite, but I mean, people might care to the lore, even though the game is very simple and fast, you know?
like now. I think transmog was a good idea at its conception, but also with all of the quirky cosmetics and things that don't really fit Warcraft in its original sense, cities and hubs can now look a little bit like a Fortnite lobby, just with all of the flashy mounts, new races, and everything else in between. I think Dragonflight was the next major Disney-esque blow to Warcraft,
Oh my god, that's so terrible.
something that really pushed it over the edge into a more immature fantasy setting. People often misunderstand why there is still such a great appreciation for Warcraft in its earliest iterations, or World of Warcraft from vanilla to about Wrath. But it was just that no matter where you went, even if people were wearing mismatched gear, as you do while you're leveling, you looked like you belonged in this world. Old World of Warcraft is so loved by that side of the community because it's a game that has more than just gameplay going for it. You have gameplay at the center of everything, of course, but beside that you have lore, compelling storytelling, a sense of scale when it comes to the world, adventure, a unique identity and aesthetic, and of course the overall added bonus of nostalgia. You really cannot compete with nostalgia. For retail WoW, it feels like you just have gameplay. Because the only good things I ever hear about retail WoW is only ever just related to gameplay. I know a lot of classic versus retail discourse is around the difficulty level of the game. Some classic players say retail is too easy, and retail players argue that it's not. And to be fair, I actually can believe that retail WoW would be quite a bit more difficult. Early WoW was pretty simple if you think about it, and unless you're playing hardcore, it's not really that hard to get through the game. It takes a longer time, sure, and I think maybe certain parts of the game are harder than they would be in retail, but overall, when it comes to even the end game, I do think retail probably does have more challenging elements to it. I have been told that I only dislike retail WoW because
That
I'm just
looks
not
so
good enough to
ass.
play it. And here's what I'll tell you. I just don't even have an incentive to try. I don't want to try to be good at it. It just doesn't look like the kind of game that I want to play. A lot of it's just too smooth and polished, and it really feels disconnected from its roots. And to me, those are the things that are important. And in talking about this and in making videos like this, I have found an entire community of players like me that find value in the exact same things, and for the exact same reasons they cannot or they do not play retail WoW. I don't know what's going on in the lore anymore, and you know what? Nobody does. This was a major discussion in the community recently. Nobody has any idea what's going on. They've written themselves into a corner. We're probably gonna get like a ton of retcons or time travel or something, just like Mortal Kombat. The best thing that they've done recently seems to be housing. Everybody loved housing, and I'll be honest, I look at it and based on the kind of games that I play, I would probably interact with this and enjoy it quite a lot myself, but it's just still not enough of an incentive for me to want to come back to the game overall. There is such an unfortunate stigma around people who prefer classic WoW literally just for the way it looks. Do you know how many times I have been called a chud gamer for talking about this? What do you want me to say? The chuds yearn for storytelling. They yearn for lore, for gritty, dark fantasy with some whimsy here and there. A simpler time when the game didn't feel so confusing and silly. But let me tell you something right now, I have the solution. No, it is not to play Classic WoW. Those servers have a bunch of issues. We'll wait for Classic Plus. I'll keep my mind open. The solution, ladies and gentlemen, is to reject corporate slop and embrace tradition. If you are watching this video, then I am telling you right now to go and install Warcraft 3 Reforged and go back to playing a real game. Not just the campaign, but really play Warcraft 3 PvP. Go watch a grubby video, go watch Happy play in a tournament, go learn a build order, and just get in the game. It has to be reforged, so we cannot escape all of the corporate slop, but you can toggle classic graphics and immerse yourself in a real, brutal, gritty Warcraft as God intended. Oh, but you like decorating your house in retail World of Warcraft? Go build a base. Like a man. Or a woman. Some burrows or a ziggurat, whatever you're into. Go play a real game that still holds true to the
Yeah, she's really the church of Warcraft. We cannot deny
roots
that.
of one of the greatest game franchises
I don't even play Warcraft, but she sounded like really. It doesn't really seem like.
of all time, and then 1v1 me on the ladder if you aren't chicken. But on a serious note, I maintain that everybody should be able to just play whatever they want, even if it is retail WoW. There's clearly still an audience for it, and even that audience, by the way, already has a lot to say about the writing and various other issues with the game. But in keeping with our previous discussions around the aesthetics of Warcraft and just the overall legendary vibes that we got from it that just weren't recreated anywhere else ever, this was an important video for me to make. And that's why I made it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant on the Disneyfication of Warcraft. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. As always, huge shout out to my channel members.
Yeah, I'm risk-wise. I'm seeing like as a compliment, not in a bad way. Yeah, I don't play Warcraft, so I wouldn't know. But she really feels like she knows what she's talking about. I mean, she played for so many freaking years. So I don't think she's wrong on this. She doesn't feel wrong on this. So yeah. I thought about this already. I thought myself about playing World of Warcraft many times. But there is the monthly payment, but here, I mean, I would gladly pay that. Like even though it's quite expensive for me, maybe I would. If I didn't have to spend even more money inside the game, but what's the point if you pay every month for some game and you still need to buy everything inside of it with your money? It's you know. Or you make the game free and you put like microtransactions inside, or you do like paid membership or whatever it is, and you don't put paid stuff inside. For me, it's one or another. I don't accept the two. It's simple like that, you know. And also, like the progressive like bullshit that I knew already that was intoxicating. Whoa, made me stay far away and not want to play like. So I never give a chance because of these two factors: the membership, the monthly membership, and the workification of the game. Yeah. I'm not a fan of private servers. The only private server that I play something is Elsword. All the others, like, I only play the original game. And if I were to start a new game like private server today, I would not start even Elsword. I just play there because I still have my old account. Yeah. I just want to remind you guys to join your Discord server. Now get to know more foxlings. Meet more foxlings. Yeah. You can participate at oh my god, I forgot. At night on the watch parties for movies and animes and things like that they usually do in many different dates that you guys can combine there. You can also play things together there. Like people are always like looking for people to play stuff, private servers and all. And yeah, there's a lot of things to do inside this. A lot of things. Okay, I'm not good at it. Oh my god, I need to get that. I need to make a text or something and start to reading it until I get like it's on my head. You know? Yeah, I'm not good in doing this right away. No, that's terrible, Blaze. That's terrible. That's too terrible. Okay, support Foxley Patreon, Ko-Fi, or Kick by gifting subs or subscribing. Stay away of any kind of support here on WokeTube because it eats a lot of money and again, barely nothing. And WokeTube hates me, so don't support me there. Only with subscribing and watching videos, of course, and giving a like and blah blah blah, but not financially me. Yeah, before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-Tail Fox Tier member, the Holy Ball, and to all of my 3-Tail Fox Tier members, Wallony Wolf, Fanny Sylvie, Heat Himself, Sheila Not Serious, Eustace the Useful, Zealous Isaiah, Ala Rosas, Max Tenor, Nicotino, Avery, Halcyonic Eder, and TV8. thank you very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone that have been supporting me on Ko-Fi, Kick, and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel live and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. And that's it for today, my dear Foxlings. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.